Hello, everyone. Welcome to Preterist Papers. My name is Patricia Bailey, and this is the 92nd discussion in this series, and it's titled Armageddon. You can find this free printable 2-page PDF at preteristpapers.com. To comprehend Armageddon, we need to recognize its context in the sixth bowl. The sixth bowl passage uses at least 3 Old Testament events as symbols. Number 1, the sneak capture of Babylon by the Medo-Persians. Number 2, the frog plague visited on Egypt. And 3, the good King Josiah's sad defeat at Megiddo. The sixth bowl passage also uses this Old Testament symbol of the dragon, emblematic of primeval chaos and darkness that threatens the divine order and can only be subdued by God. We will seek to show that, like the sixth trumpet, the sixth bowl was about the catastrophic turning point of the first century Roman and Jewish war, when the Idumeans joined with the Zealots in Jerusalem to slaughter its inhabitants, completely shifting the balance of power in favor of the tyrannical Zealot cause. As usual, we need to ground our interpretation in the context of the first century people to whom it was written, not in futurist fictions. Number 1, the beast of Revelation was the anti-Roman Zealot movement of first century Israel. This is a departure from the common Preterist conception that Rome was the beast. We have documented our evidence in several Preterist papers. Number 2, the history of the capture of Babylon by the Medo-Persians reveals the Euphrates River reference. A. In 539 BC, Babylon was seized by the Medo-Persians when they diverted the waters of the Euphrates River, enabling them to enter the city through the riverbed, quickly taking control of Babylon. D. In the first century, during the Roman and Jewish War, the Idumeans easily entered Jerusalem when a dreadful storm obscured the sound of sawing through Jerusalem's gates. Jerusalem is named Babylon in the book of Revelation. 3. The dragon, beast, and false prophet spewed a trilogy of consequential deceits. C. The disastrous turning point of the Roman and Jewish war was precipitated by a lie propagated by 3 actors. Number 1, John of Gauchala, who had not yet identified himself as a zealot, told the zealots that the people of Jerusalem were colluding with the Romans against them. This was a lie. Number 2, in a letter to the Idumean leaders, the zealots propagated this same deception and asked the Idumeans for help. Number 3, the Idumean leaders spread the lie among their army and headed for Jerusalem, hell-bent on vengeance. D. The New Testament speaks of the spirit of Antichrist, spirit of slavery, and the spirit of divination. These are not spiritual entities, but worldviews or ideologies that can possess a person, people, or a nation. E. The Idumeans exhibited the spirit of the dragon. In the Old Testament, the dragon was a metaphor for irrational power, chaos, and destruction. F. The zealots had the spirit of the beast. The zealots were defined by rebellion and beastly behavior. G. The false prophets, also called the second beast, were the liars and propagandists who supported the zealots. John of Gauchala exhibited the spirit of the false prophet in this case. H. The whole inhabited earth is a reference to the zealots coming to Jerusalem from all over the Roman Empire to join the rebel cause. I. To summarize, the false prophet was John of Gauchala, who lied and set the catastrophic takeover of Jerusalem in motion. The beast was the zealots who propagated John's lie, urging the Idumean commanders to help them in their cause. The dragon was the Idumean army, who epitomized brute power and chaotic destruction, bringing untold misery and death to Jerusalem. 4. Here is the connection between watching, clothes, and nakedness. Watchmen were routinely charged with guarding the temple at night. Any guard found sleeping on duty was beaten and his clothes taken from him and destroyed. With the city gates locked against the Idumeans, Jerusalem guards were permitted to sleep that night because the severe storm was thought to be divine punishment of the Idumeans for bringing weapons to Jerusalem. However, when the Idumeans broke through the gates, the guards were brutally murdered, some in their sleep, and unopposed access was gained to the rest of the city. Number 5. The memory of the sad defeat of good King Josiah reveals the meaning of Armageddon. A. Harmageddon, also called Armageddon, is a term derived from the Hebrew Har Megiddo, which means Mount of Megiddo. In Hebrew thought, a mountain was not necessarily high ground, but rather a lot of something gathered. A mountain was a symbol for a large and centralized group of people. Please see the references. D. Megiddo was the site of many battles in the Old Testament, but the ultimate grievous battle for Judah was the defeat of good King Josiah around 600 BC. After over 50 years of wicked rule before him, he was a model of moral and spiritual renewal. Josiah restored the temple and rid the nation of pagan worship. In a singular moment of bad judgment, he went to war against the king of Egypt and was killed. Megiddo became synonymous with immense sorrow for the nation. The passage prophesied another miserable Megiddo tragedy for Judah. First century Jerusalem was the site of Armageddon. E. Armageddon, along with Sodom, Egypt, and Babylon, are names for Jerusalem in the book of Revelation. These names remove the geographical meaning and reveal the spiritual condition and fate of that great city. Thank you for listening.